Good morning, I think. Hi. Checking the systems over here. Good morning. My name is Terry Morgan. Today is Friday, February, I just looked at it, 16th, 2024. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. I have a little question about what I'm doing over here. Hang on a second. I'm still getting a message. Let me see. Oh, now it's fine. Sorry about that. All right. It's going to be one of those days, maybe a couple of weeks, I don't know. There are a number of things which are changing for me and which seem to be part of what I'm looking forward to in this new cycle of things that, at least for me, seems to be has already started actually. There are, and I've talked about this in practice, and I have to talk about it now because it's something that I have to pay attention to. That sense of getting rid of things that I don't want and moving towards things that I do want is absolutely something that I am focused on, and it's something that we want to, that sense of working towards something that we want and letting go of what we don't want is absolutely something that we do in practice, that we want to cultivate that skill so that we recognize that this, whatever it is over here, is not being productive, is not helping me in any way, and in fact maybe hurting me. There's stuff that is, but I'm not going to go there. But that sense of, I don't really want this over here, I want this. And what do you do with that? Do you bemoan what you don't want? Because if you do, it's the two wolves. You're feeding that wolf. You're only feeding that. Whatever it is you may think you want, you're not giving your energy to that. You're over here saying, no, I don't want that, no. At some point, it's not, you have to say, there's things that you have to do. Say, no, stop, I don't want that, leave me alone. But at the same time, if that's the only thing that you're doing, you're not putting your effort towards what you want. Well, maybe that, ooh, that's nice, I'll take one of those, right? That sense of the two wolves is exactly what the real world has given me. I have a really awful situation that I'm trying to deal with, and I'm not going to talk about it at length, but I do. And I have an incredible opportunity that I have been working on and putting my effort towards, and I'm just almost right there. So, which one do you think I'm going to choose? And it does have bearing on this class and on everything that I do. The choice that I'm making is to spend the next few days, maybe it won't take me that long, fingers crossed, to get the other 4 books in my series, my little sci-fi series that I wrote, Ambassador. The name of the book is The Ambassador. It's got martial arts, it's got sci-fi, it's got magical swords and mystical things, it's got reality, lots and lots of reality. And it's got what I think are some pretty interesting characters. They gave me 5 books, so I think they're pretty interesting. I had a good time with them. Again, I'm, fingers crossed, if everything goes well, I will have all 4 of the remaining books, there's 5 in the set, available on Monday. The audiobooks have been recorded and will be available. It's probably going to be March sometime before I get them all edited and ready to be published as audiobooks. In the meantime, there will be several new chapters available on the podcast this weekend. I'm very pleased that I've gotten this far, and any encouragement you can offer me would be great. Thank you. Feet about shoulder width apart with basic stretch. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, hands circle front, and back around to both sides. Up along center line, and stretch out. One more. Fingertips reach up, elbows drop down, wrists, hands return to your sides. As we are practicing Wudang Qigong, one of the things that we want to pay attention to is the general nature of the forms. We have, with today's class, Gong. In my original translation, I translated this as diagonal flying, with the idea that this sense of flying over here, as I go on, turn to the diagonal, is very similar to the kind of thing that I'm doing in set 3, which Yan Fei Gong, wild goose flying. That comparison is visible. It's there. But this set, Fei Gong, focuses on settling, sinking down. That early translation, diagonal flying, it's sort of okay, but it's not as correct as my revised translation, which is settling exercise. Right? So here, lowering and settling. That sense of, from an upward position, lowering, and then rising again. that lowering and settling is a skill that we want to develop. Being able to sink and settle is part of all of our movements. And it's one of the things, this bird in flight, as well as the settling and lowering, are both characteristic of Wudang Qigong. The coiling snake method and some of the twisting and turning that we do in other sets are also part of and characteristic of what we're doing in Wudang Qigong. The methods that I learned from Professor Liu are the same as what I'm teaching. Okay, so the way in which we move, the particulars for how we do the movement, as well as the internal workmanship, which centers, which centers should I be paying attention to? Why? What is the circulation that I want to develop? What can I develop? You start with the breath, the physical breath coordinated with the movement, and then we start trying to move the qi, the internal energy, the internal breath. The internal energy I call is what I've translated from the word jing. So qi, some people translate as energy, some people translate as breath. I'm using inner breath to distinguish between the physical breath, hu shi, and qi, that inner breath, that inner, we call it sometimes a vital energy, but it's vital breath more than energy. When we talk about jing, and in Tai Chi, a lot of people learn Tai Chi, they talk about Fa Jing. That jing, that energy, is not qi. It's jing. It's different. And that difference matters. So when I translate qi as energy. What word do I use for jing? I had to think about that quite a bit, actually. I worked with several dictionaries in trying to figure out what was going to be the best English word that I could render easily without some long, lengthy explanation. Just translate. What word am I going to use? Inner breath, internal energy, jing, qi. Pay attention to the physical breath. Keep the body straight. Pull up through the back. Make sure that the centers in the back are open. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Keep the back up and breathe in. Breathe out. Sink. Turn to the left. Left toes turn. Up. Right heel comes up. Settle. Up on the left and center. Turn to the right. Sink. And come on up. Keep the shoulders down. Open the back. Pay attention to the jiaji in the center of the back. Open it. Keep the weight well placed and well supported. Breathe in. breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Don't lean. Two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Last time, breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Palms up. Breathe out. Press down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. As we work through the set, I'm going to repeat this one 2 times. As we work through the set, paying attention to this opening here, and then closing as we settle down. That settling. There's weight on the foot that's up, so whichever side you're going, the back foot is up, the heel is up. You can't have weight on it. It's not a one-leg descent. We have that, but not this one. Okay, and as we're settling down, it's important to keep the hip in the correct position so that you can actually settle down. If you're too far forward, if your hip is too far forward or directly over your heel, you can't. It has to be just behind the heel. Just bear it. You see, that's it. That's the difference. Here it's over my heel. Here it's right behind my heel. That's all the difference, and it makes it possible for that descent to happen. It's the placement of the hip and the leg and how we balance. 2 more times. Pay attention to that placement and pay attention to how you need to hold the leg, the sustaining leg, the front leg, in order to go down. Feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Palms up, breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the left. Breathe in. Pay attention to your hip. Keep the body straight. And right side. Breathe in. And breathe out. Pay attention to where your hip is placed and what you're doing with it. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in, palms up. Breathe out. Press down on both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there, breathe in. And breathe out. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Alright, 2 mistakes. First one was pretty obvious. It was on the second set. I lost my balance in that last series. I leaned too far forward. So as I came up here, I'm here, I tilted. Just a little, I tilted. So as I was coming down, I'm tilting more. except I wasn't doing it in a controlled way like I just did. I was, just lost my balance, right? Right? So, here, right here, if my hip is back, right, this goes up, not going down. That happened too, right? If I'm leaning, I'm just going to lose my balance again, right? But if I keep everything in good alignment, that was all right, then that up and down movement, that lowering, is very smooth, it should be, and it can be very controlled and well placed. So I did two things in that second set. The first one, I just talked about, I lost my balance. The second one I was talking about a little bit. In the first set, I tilted my hip. Instead of here, it was back here. That, just a little bit. Just that little bit makes a difference in where the leg can move, so that as you're sinking down, there is the possibility for the leg and the hip to cooperate. If the hip is turned to the back, you can't. It becomes physically not possible. If the hip is kept straight, that up and down motion, properly placed, can happen. Whether or not you can do it today is not the question. It's whether or not it's possible. So there's two questions. One, can I do this movement today? Two, how is this movement done so that if I could do it today, I would be able to do it? What do I need to do? What do I need to be able to do? What do I need to pay attention to within this movement in order for it to function, for the movement itself to work? The physiological human anatomy elements have to be there. It's not, we can learn how to manage that so that the movement is smooth, that it is well controlled, and that it is properly placed. That is what we want to do in practice. That's the goal. Whether or not we do it every time, yeah, well, I can try. Breathe in, breathe out. It's close. It's pretty close. I'm happy with that. Being able to do that, just, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to do this, is one of the skills that we want to work toward. Thank you for being here today. I will be back next week. I have so many things going on. I can tell you, I talked about that at length. I will be back next week. Thinking about maybe still working on this a little bit, and set 5, Palm Supporting Heaven, is coming up. I appreciate everyone who's been following me. Thank you. I really do appreciate all of you. It means the world to me. Bye.